So let's get into it. So Ruth 2, 1 verses 23, for those that didn't get it. And that was a lot. You know what I mean? That was a lot as far as scripture. You know, that was a lot to take in. I didn't know where to start. You know what I mean? I didn't know, how to maneuver, if you will. So God gave me this. So stalks of grain, what stalks of grain is, and this is what Naomi was picking up from the harvesters. Stalks of grain is the stem or main axis of a plant which supports the seed, the carrying parts. The harvested seeds of various grass food crops, for example, the wheat, the bread. So man, getting into this, I'm thinking that the reason that there are any stalks of grain left on the floor in the first place is because the baskets were already full by the harvesters. The harvesters that Naomi was after, the one that she was treading behind, their baskets were already full, so that's why there was some left on the ground. So just a backstory. Ruth is Naomi's mother-in-law. And Ruth's husband was Naomi's son. Her son, if you go back to chapter 1, her son died 10 years later after this famine. So she had 2 daughters. Another daughter went away, and then Ruth stayed with the mother-in-law, Naomi. Naomi, she wanted Ruth to leave her, but Ruth said, no, I'm going to stay with you. You're all alone. I'm not about to leave you. So Ruth was dedicated. She had that trait about her, and because Naomi would have been left all alone, she lost her husband. She lost her 2 sons. And if Ruth would have left her, then she would have had nobody. She would have just been returning home empty-handed, alone. So we see in the text that Ruth, she wants to work because right now she's empty. So starting all of this, I'm thinking you never know when it's your season or when it's going to be time for your harvest. So sometimes you have to start picking up what fell from the baskets that are overflowing. The women that are carrying the baskets full of their harvest, the grain is falling, the crops are falling, and whatever is left is because their basket has overflowed. And now Ruth, I keep getting them mixed up. Ruth is going in and she's like, I don't care what's left on the floor. I'm going to pick up what you're dropping down. So if someone is kind enough, she said, to give her what has fell on the floor, she's just like, well, I'll take it. So if someone is kind enough to give you some advice, you take it. If someone is kind enough to give you some wisdom, you take it. Whatever good thing someone is willing to leave behind for you, so you can come and be full. So if somebody is leaving something behind, you grab it so that you can be full, because you know that you're at a place of emptiness. If you can just go without the mindset of, I know I gotta go because I gotta feed my children. I know I gotta go because I gotta take care of my household. I know that I have to go because I have to provide when a man can't provide for me anymore. That's what I've seen in Ruth. She said, we both can't be empty. We both can't come empty-handed. So because you're going through something, let me pick up the weight. Let me be that spotter for you. So Ruth is going in whatever it takes. I don't care if I'm being overlooked. I don't care if about any of those things. I'm going because I have a mindset of going in there, and whatever is being dropped, I'm about to take it for myself, because I know if I come back to you empty-handed, it's like two people just being empty. And you want to be able to provide for those who don't have. So if you can just go, that's why Ruth said, I'm just gonna go. Like, I don't know what to expect. I'm just gonna go. I know that I got something to do. I'm just gonna go. I know I gotta feed my children, so I'm gonna go. I know that I gotta provide when no one else can provide for me. I'm not gonna count on somebody else to do it for me. I'm gonna do it for me. So I just gotta go without knowing what's ahead of me. I will trust you, Lord. I don't know what you have for the next step. I know the direction that you gave for me now is that I have to just go. So Ruth just went. So the posture of which you are going to receive, you will come back in a posture that is fulfilled. You need to have a posture to go and receive something without knowing what you're about to receive. And you also need to have this, you also going to come back with the posture of, you're also going to come back with the posture of being fulfilled. Right? So you don't know where you'll find yourself if you just go. You don't know what field the good farmer will place you in if you just go, which means obedience. So if you just go, you don't know what your next step will be. All you got to do is just go. All you got to do is give over control to somebody else other than yourself. You're no longer in control. But if you could just give control over to somebody else, then you never know what will happen when you give over control to someone else. You don't know where you will find yourself if you just go. So as I was painting the picture and I inserted myself in Ruth's story, I was just imagining that Ruth is just minding her own business in the text, you know, with her head down, because she is determined to come back with something that she didn't have when she left. You know, she's just determined, like, you know, I know I got to get this money. I know I got to get this food. I know I got to get this, you know, whatever it may be. I know I got to get it. I don't know how I'm going to get it. If I got to start from the bottom, I'm going to get it. I'm not going to start from the top, because it looks like I got to start from the bottom and get the scraps. I'm going to start from the bottom, but I got the mindset, I got the heart posture of going in there and started from the bottom. I'm not going in there to be the best. I'm not going in there to be over somebody else. I'm not going over there to, you know, to flaunt or to, you know, to brag. I'm not going in there like that. I'm going in there with a heart posture, and I'm saying there's something I need to come home with. You know what I mean? So that's how I painted the picture in my head, that Ruth was just like minding her own business. Like, I'm just trying to keep my head down and pray that I get some of this harvest that y'all are dropping. Like, you may leave empty-handed, but there's a Boaz coming to rescue you. Boaz came to rescue Ruth. Keep getting them mixed up. Naomi and Ruth. I just maybe love Naomi's name. But Boaz was coming all along to rescue Ruth. Like, you may leave empty-handed, and you don't know what field you'll be going to or what field that you'll be placed in, but you have to have the mindset of just going. That you don't know what's in your future, but Boaz is coming. That Boaz, the one that is, you know, full of strength, full of kind words. The Boaz doesn't mind giving to you. That kind of person, he's coming, you know, to give you something that you didn't have before. You know, so I picture Ruth being smart. You know, I picture her with her head down, because it says that she's going into it saying, like, it may not be time for my harvest, but if I can just keep my head down and pick up what the harvesters are dropping, then that means there's hope for me. Maybe it's not time for your harvest. Maybe it's time for somebody else's harvest. But if you stay in it long enough, you don't know what can happen on the other side of you just having that heart posture of just saying, I'm going into it, just trying to be the bottom man. Like, I'm going into it just to serve. I'm going into it not just to get my paycheck. I'm going into it with just a heart posture of, this is what I got to do because I'm empty right now. I got to do this. I got to take care of house and home. I got to take care of my mind. I got to take care of my heart. I got to take care of my body. If that means I got to get to working out, it's because I got to take care of my body. So I'm going in with the heart posture of, I got to take care of business. So it doesn't matter what it looked like. It doesn't matter if somebody else is harvesting and I'm not. So it don't have to be my time just because it's somebody else's time. Just because I'm overlooked right now don't mean I'll always be overlooked. Let me just keep doing what I'm doing, not comparing myself to other people, not comparing myself to what someone else has. Instead, let me just use the blessings that are overflowing in somebody else's basket or in somebody else's life to be a blessing for my life because I know my time is coming. So let me just pick up what they're dropping off. Like, they have their blessings, but if I can just get up under their blessing, and not have the mindset of, oh, you shouldn't be there. You didn't deserve that opportunity. You didn't deserve to be in that position. If I could just have that mindset, you don't know what kind of blessings will be coming to you by you just serving their purpose. Serve somebody else's purpose. When your purpose don't make sense and your purpose haven't worked out for you and you don't understand why, serve somebody else's purpose. Because their purpose, when you serve their purpose, you don't know what kind of plan that God has had. You don't know what kind of Boaz God is sending to then, push you into your purpose. So your time is coming. You may not have what it takes to be the top yet. That's what I hear God saying. You may not have what it takes to be at the top yet, but don't worry because you're not overlooked. If you get that right heart posture, you're not overlooked. I know you worked hard, but you're not overlooked. I know that you went in every day on time, but you're not overlooked. I know that you gave it your all, but you're not overlooked. I know that you lost something in the process, but you're not overlooked, is what I hear him saying. Thank God. You're not overlooked. We're not overlooked. Just because somebody else has more, we're not overlooked. You don't know what they're going through or what they're experiencing with their more. But don't try to compare yourself to somebody else. Don't try to, try to see what they have and try to want it for yourself and do sabotage and all this kind of stuff. Like, no, at the end of the day, serve their purpose. Be happy for them and get up under their wing. You just may not have what it takes yet, but God says soon. Soon you will have your own harvest for yourself and someone else will reap off you. You don't know when the time is coming, but if you can start like just reaping off of somebody else's harvest, because whatever they're clearly, versed in whatever field they're in, they're clearly versed to be there. Versed meaning they got a lot of knowledge in that particular field. So if you can just sit up under their wing just for a little while, God said, I'm not going to overlook you. That you already got what it takes. You already smart. You already got the thing inside of you to make you be obedient for one. You got everything inside of you to be a good daughter-in-law, a good friend, a good worker, a good boss. You got all the traits. But God is saying that just sit up under that person a little while longer, because by their blessing you, you're going to be a blessing. You're going to be a blessing. You're going to reap. So sometimes we can find ourselves at places like Ruth and Naomi, which is Ruth's mother-in-law, Naomi, empty and searching for answers. Empty and searching for answers. You don't care where you got to go, but you're going to find the answers because you're too empty. But just be careful of what you fulfill yourself with in your emptiness. You're searching for anything that's going to fill you again, but make sure it's not the wrong thing. Make sure you don't start dabbling in things that don't fill you permanently. Things that are just going to fill you temporarily are not for you. You want to stay away from things that are going to fill you temporarily. But the things that are going to fill you permanently is like what you're after. Because, your father have died. He died. and your brothers left you and your family is gone, and it could just leave you at a place of emptiness. So now you're searching for something that you don't even know that you're searching for. All you know is that is you're empty, and you're on this journey of searching. And we're excuse me. And when we're empty, our emptiness starts to demand attention. So when your emptiness starts to demand attention, there's going to be where you turn over here, you're going to turn over here, you're going to turn over there, but your emptiness is going to start demanding attention, which means we're going to start working harder to fill whatever void of our emptiness. We just don't know where to get it from, or we don't know where it'll come from. But if we can just work, then eventually we'll have our own harvest. That's why it says that Ruth was hard at work, because she knew if she stayed empty, there would be nothing left to give those around her, those who needed her. If you stay empty long enough, there's not going to be anything to distribute to somebody else. You can't be empty. You got to find that permanent solution. You got to find that permanent friend. You got to find that permanent field. Whatever field that you're supposed to be in, it needs to be permanent. Because you don't know where your next blessing is going to come from by you working in that field and you working under that person. You never know when your Boaz is going to come. But you have to have something to distribute out. So you have to go into it with the mindset. And you got to go into the field with the heart posture already. You have to go into it with a heart posture of receiving. This is your time to be a student. This is your time to be a student, not your time to teach. Just sit in this and be a student. Just learn in this. I feel like Ruth, she didn't mind being fed off of someone else's blessings. It's just like, where did that go? It's just like you get so high and mighty that nobody can tell you nothing. Nobody can encourage you. Nobody can be better than you. Nobody can have more than you. Nobody can look better than you. Nobody can dress better than you. Why? No, I feel like Ruth just had that mindset. I don't care that they harvest is falling out of their basket. I'm about to start from the bottom. She had that bottom kind of spirit, like, I don't care, started from the bottom and I'm gonna be here. Like, she had that kind of spirit in her. Like, she didn't mind working her way up. She didn't mind going from one situation to the next, not knowing where she would end up. She didn't mind. As I look at her characteristics, she didn't mind. She didn't mind picking up the leftovers that many people would mind picking up. It's like, oh, I'm not about to pick up that hand-me-down. I don't want them hand-me-downs. I don't want your old shoes. I don't want your old car. I don't want your little this. I don't want your little that. No, you can't have that mindset. We got to have the mindset like Ruth. It don't matter what it looks like. I came in here for a purpose. It don't matter what it looks like. I came in here to produce. It don't matter what it looks like. I came in here to receive. It don't matter what it looks like. I came in here to be fed. I came in here to get this word. I came in here to be the best at what I'm doing right now. If you cleaning toilets, be the best at cleaning toilets. If you cleaning shoes, be the best at cleaning shoes. Whatever you're doing, you came in here to be the best, but you got to start somewhere, and somewhere is where Ruth started. She started back from the bottom. She had her life. She had her husband. He died. It left her empty. So now she said, I don't mind being empty, but I know where I got to start from. I know I got to start from the bottom. I don't mind that I'm not going to start from the top. I know I got to fit in. I got to get in where I fit in. That's Ruth's mindset. It's a lot of mindsets, and God just put that on my heart today, or actually yesterday when I was going through it, that the ones who feel entitled to something, it's like God told me, like, you feel entitled. Like I went to go give my crazy faith offering in Tulsa, and I didn't fill out my crazy faith card. I just gave this crazy offering, me and my husband. And he made me look back on that. He was like, you felt entitled. Why didn't you go fill out the crazy faith card like everybody else? Why did you feel so entitled to not write down your needs or your wants or what you have crazy faith for? Why? Because you thought if you just gave the crazy faith offering that I was just going to deliver? Like, no, you feel entitled. You got that entitled spirit. And whoever got that entitled spirit, I rebuke it right now, because that's not a spirit God wants you to have. He don't want you to have the spirit of entitlement. No, you don't deserve anything. You deserve to start from the bottom. You don't deserve anything. You don't deserve to start from the top. You deserve to work your way from the bottom to the top. Because eventually, there's going to be harvest. Eventually. And because of that, that entitled spirit, there's some people who has her name in their mouth. Like, you'll never know by you having the right posture whose name that your name is going to be in their mouth. You don't know who's talking about you behind your back in a good way, saying, oh yeah, they need to be promoted. Oh yeah, I see they work ethic. Oh yeah, I see how hard they work. Oh, they only needed to take their rest. They didn't go over their 15-minute break. They didn't use 20 minutes of my time. They used their correct 15 minutes. Oh, I see how you working. That is what I see when, Boaz was talking to the farmers or whatever like that. He was saying like, who is that? Boaz was asking like, who is that girl? Who is she? Where does she come from? Like, you never know that your name might be in somebody else's mouth higher than you. They have the keys to where you want to be. But if you just keep that work ethic, and you just keep that posture of a student, like, I came here to learn. I came here to receive. I didn't come here to brag. I didn't come here to flaunt. I didn't come here to floss. I came here to receive. That's why you shouldn't worry about you being overlooked in situations, because you never know who's talking about you. You never know who wants to know your name. You never know who wants to know your last name. You never know who's going to want to know where you came from. You never know. So when I continued to read the story, I noticed two things. I was noticing that obviously that clearly this was a season of Ruth's emptiness, which we already understand. Like, this was her season. This is her season of emptiness. But that also that she had to become a student in her emptiness. In your emptiness, you cannot just say, okay, I'm about to be the sergeant at arms. No, you got to be the soldier first. You cannot just go on to be, the top of the class. You got to start at the bottom first. Ruth just had to be submissive. She had to submit herself in a way that she can learn, in a way that she can be a student. When you're empty, God knows whose care that he needs to put you under. Like, he knows whose care he needs to put you under so you can be filled again. If they're harvesting in these areas, and those areas are, and those are the areas in your life that require fulfillment, then that's the field where you will do your training. He knows that this is what you need. It may not be what you want, but God knows what you need, and he gives us what we need. So he's saying, if those ones over there are harvesting, and I know that you want to be in that field, then I'm going to put you under their training. I'm going to put you under them so you can see how they harvested, how they were able to be versed in that field in their life. I'm going to put you right up under that. But I need you to have the right heart posture. I need you to be willing to receive. I need your heart to be open. God knows the field that he's calling you to. Some things are unknown in our lives. I wasn't never the one to have goals. I always told my husband, like, dang, I don't have any goals. What's wrong with me? Like, I know everybody else got goals that they're working towards, but what's wrong with me? And, I just heard God say that that's okay that you don't have goals. Because you don't have goals, it's because you've been trying to find your identity in me for so long. Of course you didn't have goals. Like, before, I wanted to be a dancer, but that's not what I wanted to do when I got mature. So it's like, sometimes it's okay to not have things planned out. It's okay to not have a goal. It's okay that you may be 40 and you're not where you want to be. It's okay that you may be 30 and you're not where you want to be just because somebody else got the degree before they was 30. Just because somebody else got the house before they was 30. Like, it's okay to not be where you thought that you should be. because God knows what you need, that it's okay. It's okay that you didn't get into the school. It's okay that you didn't, keep the boyfriend that was supposed to be your husband. It's okay. All of that is okay. Because God knows what you need, and he'll put you under somebody to train you, but you'll miss it if you don't see that there's an opportunity for growth. You'll miss it. You got to always be ready for growth. You got to always be ready for maturity. You'll miss it if your heart is not in a posture to receiving at all times. I go through my everyday life saying, I know this clearly, whatever I do today is supposed to happen. I'm not about to have no regrets. I know that I'm walking with God. I know that I have the Holy Spirit. So whatever I get myself into today is what God needed me to experience today. So what can I learn from today? What can I learn from my experience? What can I learn from my past? What can I learn from working at that job over there? What can I take home for working at that job over there? What can I learn? He knows the field that he wants to put you in. He knows the field that you need to be in. He knows the field that you need to be in, so you can, that he will put you in front of women, because Ruth had to be up under some women. So he knows the women that he will place in your life that will teach you all that you need to know. You may think that you got it all together, but God said, no, I need you to just learn some more things. You may got a little bit. You got the work ethic. Ruth had a lot, but there was still some things that she needed to learn. And she wasn't acting so high and sedity and almighty that she said, no, it's no more for me to learn. I need to just get this money. I need to get this bag. No. Ruth had the submission. Like, yeah, I know I had a lot because I was married. I had my place. I had my car. I had my this. I had my that. But sometimes when you lose something, you got to start back over. You don't have to start from scratch. You just got to start over. And I got that from Sarah. You got to not start from scratch. You got to start over. Starting over doesn't mean starting from scratch. Like, starting from scratch means there is no foundation to build on. Starting over means I got that foundation and I'm about to build on top of it. Them ruins that God was talking about is when he started to build your life back on your ruins. It wasn't starting from scratch. It was starting over, because what broke you was what was going to make you. So you never had to start over. You never had to start from scratch. You just had to start over. So God knows the field that he's calling you to. He needs you to follow the women that he places in your life, the friends that he places in your life, the boss that he places in your life, the teacher that he places in your life, and to see what field they are harvesting in, so that when you start to harvest, you will be able to produce. Like, the women that you will be around, or the people that God will have you be around, their harvest is going to produce in you. Like, because you're collecting from them, it's then going to start to produce in you. It's going to start to produce in you. Now, Ruth couldn't do that and have, something being produced in her if she had that spirit and that mindset of comparing herself to the ones who were already harvesting. No, you got too much. Your basket is overflowing. Why do I want that? No, if she had that kind of spirit, that jealousy spirit, that envious spirit, because they were harvesting more than she was, and she was just getting the scraps. She had to take her place as a student so she can learn from them who were versed in that particular field. You got to take your place as a student. And you got to be bold in that place and confident in that place. And you got to have the mindset of serving in that place. Don't just try to be the best, because there's always going to be somebody with more than you. There's always going to be somebody with less than you. But if you can just be content in your area, be content in your space. Don't worry about somebody else. Be content in your space. God said the time is coming. And I love in the verses when he was saying, help yourself to the water that they have drawn from the well. Help yourself, when you get thirsty, because they were willing to do the hard work for her. Those women, they were willing to do the hard work for her. Her friends, your friends, your boss, they're doing the hard work, the work that you don't have to do. You know, they were willing to teach her. They were willing to be an example for her. They were willing to do the studying and give you the word so that you didn't have to do it yourself. They were willing to pray when you couldn't pray. They were willing to do all that a good trainer will do. If you've been trained by somebody, they're gonna do probably the majority of the work so they can show you what it is or how it is to do it, but you eventually got to do it. You know, they eventually you're not gonna be, eventually you'll have to do it by yourself. Right now, there's a trainer with you. You know, they're going to teach you the correct way to do it, the way you got to hold your hands, the way your body posture got to be. There's going to be that trainer that is going to be there for you to teach you what you need to know. So this particular trainer that God linked Ruth up with, she had to learn from them because they were teaching her, but they also had to have a willing spirit. So whoever you're going to be around, you need to make sure that they have a willing spirit, that they're not all in it for themselves. They also had to be willing that whatever dropped, I was going to allow you to pick up, because I could have picked it up myself. You don't want people around you like that. You want somebody that's also going to be there for you. Also that's going to ride for you. Also that's going to be there when you at your lowest point, not just at your highest point. Because Ruth, she was at her lowest point. She had to pick up the scraps from the ground. When you get some friends around you that is going to be there from you when you got to start from the bottom, then those are the kind of friends that need to be in your circle. Don't get some friends where they want it for themselves, when they don't want to see you win. No. Ruth had to get around somebody that wanted to also see her win. They also wanted to see her win. So you got to get around somebody that's going to pray when you can't pray. You got to get around somebody that's going to, cry with you. Somebody that's going to get down in it with you. They can say a whole lot of words, but their actions is what's going to show you the type of friend that they are, the kind of boss that they are. Their actions is going to show you. Somebody that's going to get down in the bottom with you, somebody that's going to help you, somebody that's going to teach you, somebody that's going to submit with you, somebody that's going to do all that with